Welcome to Dan's Bike Show. I'm Dan, and today we're going to return to Project USA Bike Challenge. I began by installing a seat post clamp. I have a Thompson binder, size 28.8, but it was too large. For a temporary fix, I acquired an import binder from the local bike shop. This will be swapped out when I get a smaller Thompson. Next, I installed my Thompson seat post and made a couple adjustments to my repair stand. Next, I installed a tie handlebar I bought from Brew. I think it's technically a motorcycle handlebar, but it's US made and it's the correct dimensions. I also have a Moots that is very nice, but as soon as I brought it home, my special lady friend claimed it as her own. Therefore, the alternative tie bar will stay on my ride, at least for now. Now I move on to the cranks. Remember from episode 2, the bottom bracket is already installed. After the build footage, I have a short discussion on crank bolts. I did not get the bolts from White Industries, which are the only commercially available US crank bolts of which I know. I also did not complete my own crank bolts yet. Like the binder, I had to use a temporary placeholder, generic import crank bolts. Here I can be seen cannibalizing the Yuck bike for wheels. The Yuck bike is a 1979 Takara that I painted in the late 90s and built up with garbage picked parts. The frame is lugged and brazed steel, and the components are top shelf as far as garbage picking goes. I call it the Yuck bike because I finished it off with Mr. Yuck stickers from the Poison Control Center. So far, the Yuck stickers have successfully prevented it from being stolen. If you stay tuned, the Yuck bike will be central to my next big project in an upcoming episode. The wheels are US-made rims that are no longer commercially available, laced to an old campy hub in the rear and a French-made hub in the front. I replaced the rear axle with a solid axle to convert it from quick release to bolt-on. I should also mention that I don't know the country of origin of the tubes. However, the tires are Continental and they're made in Germany. I do intend to replace these if I find a suitable domestic substitute. I move on to the brakes. Paul Components supplies US-made brake pads with Motolite brakes. This is indicative of two things. One, Paul understands that his customers are, like myself, looking for US-made products. And two, Paul understands that his customers are looking for the best. Cool Stop pads are really nice. I also install the grips, the chain, the pedals, and the saddle. I finish off with final alignment and torque check. The narration is a little ahead of the video because I want to mention that the recycled brake cable I intended to use for the front brake was too short. I still have to get domestic brake cable and housing, so I'll attempt to get that this week before I buy any new temporary imported brake cable and housing. Also, I'm not real excited about the rear wheel I have. It'll be high priority in the next few weeks to select a new rear wheel. I think commercially available US-made or Dan-made rims are ways off, so this is a good time for viewer feedback. If anyone has any creative solutions for a fully US-made rear single-speed wheel, please leave a comment or video response on Dan's Bike Show YouTube channel. If you want to make a few fasteners, not mass-produced the way they normally are, the easy way to do it is to start with a hexagonal shape. You can buy hexagon bar stock. And then you can put this in a lathe, and as this is spinning, you go along with your tool and turn it down and create threads. Tool is represented by this carbon fiber pen. Crank bolts are a little bit different. You see they have this large flange. It's like a kind of like a built-in washer. And also notice that it has a female hex head, not a male head. So this is not something you can machine out. Your cutting tool, once again represented by this pen, is going to be round, like an end mill for example. So if you go into this hexagon and try to make sharp corners with a round tool, it's not going to work. You're going to end up with round corners and your Allen wrench is just going to spin. So my plan is to start with round stock, at least as large in diameter as the washer, and turn that down and create the M 8x1 threads, but then have a hex head that can be machined with an end mill. Even though it's round, you can come and machine flats and you still end up with corners so that your tool, your wrench in this case, doesn't slip on the fastener.